Mariem said. And she holds a Bachelor in Engineering of Industrial Systems, Industrial Food Consumption Products, and a Master in Sciences, Nutrition, and Food Safety from Paul Cézanne University in France. She's a registered trainer with the Chartered Institute of Environmental Health Organization. Besides, she has expertise in food and retail operations management, including delivering food safety, hazard analysis, and critical control points, good practice in food safety and microbiology, as well as in conducting awareness training in food safety management system. Mariem has been in KAUST since year 2010, leading the food safety management system. She has been a food services consultant, then inspector, then specialist, and currently she is a food safety and quality assurance specialist at KAUST. Let me start by thanking Mariem for her hard work at KAUST during these years and for being with us tonight talking about such a paramount matter that is sustainability and food security at KAUST. So please join me in welcoming Mariem.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Zulma, for the presentation. Can you share the presentation with us? Okay, so good evening, everyone. I'm very pleased to be part of this program to talk about food sustainability during this week program. Today, I will talk about food safety and what is the link between food safety and food sustainability, food waste, and how we can support directly or indirectly to be sustainable. Community life food safety quality assurance team. So what is our own main objectives and goals? Our main goal is to safeguard the KAUST community and establish a trust relationship with the community members in one way, and also with the food service providers, food handlers. So our main goal, our main support here to monitor food safety standard at KAUST, and definitely by default we will reduce food waste, to provide with the support of course service provider to provide a safe food products to our community. And the same way we are here to support and monitor environmental and waste management procedure to say as a safe food and to establish and follow sustainability approach, definitely to be green. So so we will talk about food safety briefly at KAUST, food safety in the time of COVID-19, what is the sustainability approach here in KAUST, and the future plan. So first of all, we are a member of 3 people. I'm Mariem, so I'm a food safety quality assurance specialist with the 2 inspectors, one mainly support in the retail area, inspect the retail area, and 1 Tamimi catering area. Our main mission is to develop and maintain the food safety and quality assurance system to comply first with the Saudi law, international law, definitely KAUST policies, contractor requirement, and lease agreement. We are here in the end to maintain a high level in terms of hygiene, food safety within all facilities in KAUST. We have more than 45 food outlets here in KAUST. So what do you mean by food safety, and what is our main goal? Food safety, best hygiene practice. So to provide safe food, there is many steps that we need to follow, and many points that we need to go through to ensure that the food provided to our community is safe. We can talk about cleaning and disinfection. We can talk about high temperature and the storage of the food. We can talk about keep the food at the right temperature, about FIFO, which is first in, first out. So if you talk about the first point, for example, keep clean. When we say clean, we are talking here about the facilities, about the equipment. When we say clean, we are talking about cleaning and disinfection. And when we say clean, we are talking also about the personal hygiene, about the food handlers. The second point, separate raw from cooked food. This is very important point in food safety to avoid cross-contamination. If you want to avoid to have any food to be contaminated from cooked food, let's say a sandwich, from to raw food, sorry, chicken, for example, raw chicken, to cooked food, definitely we need to avoid, and we need to separate those two kinds of food to avoid cross-contamination. The third point, cooking and reheating food thoroughly. Here we are talking about treating or using the high temperature, which will kill most of the pathogen bacteria. So there is difference between 65 degrees Celsius, 100 degrees Celsius, or if we are talking about below 65 degrees Celsius, which is what we call a danger zone. If now we are talking about keep food at the right temperature, there is a difference between dry store, dry food, chilled items in the chiller, or frozen items. Keep it. We need to keep it in the freezer. The food storage is very important as well. In the end, if you talk about all these points, the main thing that we are talking about here and the main goal is to reduce food waste and definitely in the same time provide a safe food to the consumer. When we talk about food safety, it's about from receiving raw material until consumption. In our slogan, we said from farm to fork. All steps needs to be monitored and all steps needs to have a control measures to ensure that the food is safe. Label, definitely we need to label all ingredients. We need to label all food provided in the chiller, provided in the kitchen. We need to wrap, we need to cover the food. Here we are talking about the freshness of the food. If now we need to go back to the raw material, talking about raw food products, here we need to talk about approved vendors. If we are sure about the raw material that we are providing, definitely we can talk about safe food and the quality of food will follow. Food handlers, definitely food handlers is one very important point that we need to talk about. Having the right people, the skills, the awareness, talking about training, refreshing training, lessons learned from the experience that we had, or non-conformities that we have raised during our visits, inspection, or walkthrough. Now we have controls, which controls we are following to ensure during our inspections, visits, and audit that the food is safe. Basically, we are talking here about the lab, food sampling, sending to the lab to see the freshness and how safe is the product. Talk about the thermometer that we are using to ensure that the temperature inside the fridge or the chiller is right. Talking about the calibration of all equipment that we are using in the kitchen. Talking about all food handlers, checkup and analysis. Here we are talking about blood test, about stool analysis, urine analysis, all the tests that we need to do to ensure that food handlers have no issue, health issue, and this needs to be followed. All those points need to be checked, monitored during our visits to reduce, by default, to reduce the food waste and to provide a safe product to our community. So now let's move to the next slide, talking about food safety in the time of COVID-19. Just to give you briefly what we did during the COVID-19 and what means we had a big challenge and responsibility to ensure that during this pandemic, especially when we start the first month from March, April and May. So we have created a FSQ, Food Safety Quality COVID-19 Prevention Team, from operation team, from food safety expertise, from HSE, and we have a big role here to monitor. We have increased the number of inspections, of walkthrough, of visits, morning, night, weekend. We have developed self-assessment. Each food outlets have the responsibility to do their own assessment, to do their own evaluation and internal control, which was and still being controlled and monitored by us. We have delivered and we have developed virtual inspection additional to the inspection that we have done to avoid social distance and to avoid, let's say, contactless approach. This was also successfully. When we talk about the next step, the cleaning and disinfection process, we have reviewed the dilution of the chemicals. We have reviewed the frequency of cleaning and disinfection. We have reviewed all the cleaning chemical data in all food outlets within KAUST to ensure the effectiveness of the cleanness during means the daily basis in our outlets. Monitor personal hygiene. Definitely, we have a big role here to ensure that the food handlers are safe, to ensure that they are using the proper protective equipment, gloves, hairnet, all proper equipment used. Vulnerable food handlers, we need to ensure also that people being sick or having like are diabetic or something being well monitored as well. Another very important point here is waste management support. We had an issue, let's say, or maybe dealing with in daily basis, how often we are changing the face masks, face cover, and the gloves. So the proper waste of the used contaminated gloves and all this PPE was very and still very important. Training and awareness sessions. This is also another very important point because we have increased the number of training and awareness sessions, not only physical, but mainly virtual training sessions for all food outlets in KAUST. On 7th of June, it was a World Food Safety Day, and we had the privilege collaboration with FAO to talk about food safety in KAUST and to invite community members and food outlets, food handlers to talk about food safety in the time of COVID-19. You can find more details in our community life website, food safety, and I'm happy to share also the video with you if needed. I know that if we are talking about sustainability, there is some restriction or pause in Be Green during COVID-19, especially during the first few months. Why? Because it was like to avoid, and it was safety first. So there is some like providing the dispenser, water dispenser all around KAUST. It was a little bit, let's say, risky. So we have stopped the dispenser. We have stopped to use the reusable containers from some members, which now we are gradually going back to the, let's say, we have our new normal, and we are again going back to the normal service like a buffet, reusable containers. We have a proper now monitoring system to ensure that there is no issue to go back to, let's say, new normal with more protection. Now, sustainability. Yes, definitely there is many things that we have already in KAUST, and we are trying our best to continue working with Averda, with sustainability different groups. And again, I want to say, Sabrina, thank you for this all informative, the information you have shared. Definitely there is still many things to do, and we are happy to support that, and we are happy to go green. This was also supported by our Vice President, Mr. Chris Silly, to go green, and definitely we go more and more. If there is many things to do, we'll do it. Types of waste in the kitchen. Also part of our inspections, we are monitoring and we are controlling the segregation of waste, organic waste, recyclable waste, and also one important part here, which is used oil. When I say used oil, I'm talking about cooking oil. There is a way how to dispose of the oil. There is a way how, what will be, let's say, the second life sometimes of this oil. So we are, maybe since now 3-4 years, we are doing very well with FOG best practice. FOG means fat, oil, grease best practice, to ensure that there is no oil means should be well segregated and should be well monitored. We can move to the next slide. Yes, again, so the recycling should be collected and properly labeling. So all around food outlets, we have different kind of recyclable waste, which is not available in all outlets, but for example, if you go to the school or in campus diner or facility diner, we have all kind of recyclable waste, plastic and specific for cans, for glass, for cardboard and paper. And we need to know that in Tamimi supermarket, we have a cardboard machine, a compost machine available in Tamimi supermarkets. We can move to the next slide. Again, as I said, FSQ, we have a role to monitor the garbage storage and the waste management during our inspection. And if there is no conformity, we need to raise. If there is something that we need to do, we will definitely raise it with the supervisor and the representative. And we are working also with environment team to ensure there is no incident or something related to food oil waste or any kind of environment issue. Yes, so inside the kitchen, we have collector. So we have inside the kitchen, as you can see, the box, the white box. This is available behind every sink. And this is some kind of filter. It will filter all the waste of oil. And this is very good practice to avoid also and to ensure that there is no any issues also with utilities or pipes provided in KAUST. So it's not only environment issue, it's also maintenance issue. So we are trying our best to install, and it's now installed in mainly all retailers, shops and Tamimi catering, campus diner, facility diner, golf club, all restaurant. We have the grease, what we call, grease trap. Also, with the Averda support, we have oil tank. This oil tank is provided outside, close to all waste bins, to collect the used oil inside the kitchen. And they are using this oil for other, let's say there is a second life of this oil, which is used by a researcher in KAUST. General waste. So what we are doing also inside here in campus diner, I know that Sabrina, you are talking about compost. The good news that we have a compost. We have what we call Somat machine. The Somat machine it's some kind of compost machine to reduce the food waste size. And this is, I think, actually the Somat machine is available in building 13 since 2010 and working well and been monitored in campus diner. Also, another additional control that we have installed to minimize the waste, it's the installation of a strainer in each single sink, and definitely this will reduce the waste and will reduce the impact that can have in the environment. Again, we worked hard, honestly, in fog, fat, oil, grease, awareness. We have had different sessions and training awareness sessions and toolbox talking about fog and what is the best practice to reduce and to dispose of the food waste and the oil actually, and this been included part of the food safety basic training that we have provided to our all food handlers in KAUST. Last slide for me, I will talk about food safety and food security. Food safety must be an enabler and not inhibitor of global food security. There is no food security without food safety. Food safety has to do with the quality of the food, not the quantity. If a person cannot eat the food they have no food security. Having enough good food, it's considered as food security. Not having enough good food, it's a matter of not having food security. So this will be my last slide, and I'm happy to have any question. I'm happy to answer to any question related to food safety or maybe food safety and sustainability. Thank you, Zulma, and thank you, Justin, to give us this opportunity to talk about food safety and food sustainability.
Thank you, Mariem, for your talk.
Thank you.
It is actually very important for us to understand how food is processed at KAUST, and it is really impressive to realize how much work is done by KAUST and your team to keep us safe. So thank you. So if you have any questions for Mariem, please unmute yourself or write down your questions in the chat.
I have a question. Well, Alexandra, you can go. Otherwise,
you have questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go first. You go first.
Please.
Okay. Yes. So I was wondering. So you show us how food was preserved to reduce all this food waste. So we are in the end. I mean, KAUST is more in control on how much food will be then kept for the community or discarded. Another part of on the food and sustainability approach is also to make maybe the food more local, or to try to get some products that have a little bit less impact on the environment. Are you also responsible of that aspect, or do you have any insights that KAUST is going to that direction as well?
Yes, definitely. Good question. Thank you for the question, Justin. Definitely, we are encouraging and we are trying our best to use the local products. Yes. Very simple one is fish. We are trying to use the local fish. We are trying to use some, means there is definitely, we are already working with Tamimi Catering and supermarket to encourage the use of local products. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Hello, sorry. I have a question. Maybe I didn't understand at first. I was wondering, who is in charge of also like monitoring all the restaurants that are providing like food for KAUST community?
We are the one. Actually, we are 3 members. I'm the food safety quality assurance specialist in community life, and with me I have 2 inspectors, one responsible of retail area and the second one Tamimi Catering. But the most important, another point, that every single food outlets all around the world, they need to have their own QC team or representative. Means internally they need to have a food safety inspector, but we are supposed to be we are here actually to support the internal QC team and to help all food outlets to be to have the higher standard in food safety. So we are here and we have our monthly inspection for every single food outlets to conduct inspections, random inspection and planned inspection and audit in all food outlets in KAUST.
Thank you. And a small question related to this. I was wondering now during the COVID times, who made the decision, for example, to use only disposable containers for food delivery in these restaurants? Or is it you that make the call, or is it because they cannot provide good sanitation, or what is the concern?
Yes, actually it was because it's very important. Thank you for the question. But if you want to follow Saudi law or international law, FAO of WHO, definitely there is many things raised about the buffet, about the reusable containers. So we have made it clear that during the COVID-19, especially during the first 1, 2, 3 months, it was very important to reduce the risk of a transmission of the virus. So using the reusable containers, we have considered that it was risky, but with extra precaution from our side. And now let's say, because in March and May, it was a new virus for all of us and something new for all of us. So now with all the controls that we put in place, definitely we are more confident to say that we can go back to the reusable containers. And this is what we did actually.
Thank you very much for your answer. And one more small question. You mentioned that there is a carton machine for like shredding and in Tamimi.
Yes.
So is it being used?
Yes, since now 2 years, they have installed a new machine backside in Tamimi supermarket for the cardboard. Yes.
And this addresses mainly the carton that comes from their packaging, or is also part carton from community that
Available in the supermarket. Yes. From
Yes.
yes.
So for example, what theoretically we separate in the carton paper bins, does this go to this machine or no?
No, this is with Averda.
Okay.
Averda, which is our main waste company in KAUST, but Tamimi supermarket, they are only responsible of recycling of cardboard available in the supermarket and mini market, Tamimi Express as well. Both.
And also with the organic waste that comes from the community containers, what happens to it?
This is also Averda. This is
Okay.
also, yes.
Thank you.
Welcome, anytime. Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, yes, I had a question for you regarding the packaging, actually. Something that's really interesting for us, and I think could help like solving the issues that we're facing as well with COVID-19, with having to like increase the amount of disposable, will be to look into compostable packaging. Now, I know for that where we are, it's a bit challenging because there aren't as many suppliers, but I was wondering if there are currently efforts at KAUST for switching from packaging that's like made of plastic or aluminum or other materials into something that's compostable, because I know that, well, for example, I know that styrofoam, it's actually also a health concern because it cannot really contain hot food, even though like I see a lot of restaurants actually using it. But even for like plastic and aluminum, in theory, those can be recycled, but in Saudi Arabia doesn't really happen. So the fact that they are separated doesn't mean that there is a buyer for it, and doesn't mean that Averda has the opportunity to recycle. Like, for example, for the organic waste, it's taken from Averda right now, but it's sent to landfill until we have this composting facility. So yeah, I'm just wondering about the efforts on like providing solutions that include compostable packaging, even though I know it's very challenging.
Okay, thank you, Sabrina, for your question. Actually, the first thing, as you said, there is many good improvement from our management and from our service provider to say yes, that we need to go for no plastic, let's say. Like all the effort that's been done with Tamimi supermarket and catering. If you go now, it's not like 2 or 3 years back. We are reducing the use of the plastic bag, and people they are bringing, and we are enforcing people to bring their own bag, a recyclable bag. There is another important thing which I will share it with you by email, Sabrina. We have a notification, and this was maybe 2 years back from my side, and been signed by our VP to stop using the styrofoam and to minimize the use of melamine. I can assure you, and as you said, using the styrofoam with hot food contact, this will not be really healthy, as you said. So if you go Tamimi today, there is no styrofoam available anymore. There is only paper available. If you go to the deli to have like manakish or something, we have stopped it. It was challenging and it was not easy to do it, but I can promise you that we are trying our best, as we did for Tamimi Catering supermarket, to do for all other food outlets in KAUST. For melamine,
that's
yes.
really good.
Yes.
Well done.
Thank you. So I will share this notification with you. And actually, for now, I'm out of the KAUST, but soon I will be back, and we will go again working on sustainability again, and have this campaign and sustainability again, and we will work definitely together, Sabrina. I remember we had this discussion before about the plastic.
Yes.
With Yusuf Ayed, do you remember that?
Yes, I remember that actually.
Okay, so
yes, I look forward to discuss with you. I think I am currently discussing with Anna as well. Anna Margherita, I'm not sure,
yes,
but
Anna,
yeah,
the president of, yes,
because yeah, for us it will be really great at the composting facility it will help a lot to have compostable packaging, not just because then we can increase the amount of recycling, but also because we can avoid contamination, because one of the biggest issue with processing the organic waste is going to be contamination. So if we can avoid that, then it will help a lot the whole process.
Definitely, there is many things that we still need to do. And there is another project called Fresh Sensor. We are working with startup students in KAUST and traceability and let's say to reduce the, not the freshness, but to control actually the freshness of the product, which is by default also reduce the food wastage. I can share it also with you, but we are working in this project, and hopefully soon they can present to the as a final project.
That's great.
Yeah. So thank you, Sabrina, again for the question.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you both for this insightful conversation about recycling and this important matter. So thank you so much, Mariem, for your talk.
Thank you, Kalma. Zulma, sorry.